Okay. So where we left off before, I wasn't 100% happy with what I had done. There was something that I was missing in my previous arrangement. I was really lucky because I do a lot of docking. One of the problems I had was that when I got up there, I didn't have a way to communicate with the pod, like the vehicle I left in orbit, and I didn't have a way to talk from here back to the vehicle. I couldn't make maneuver nodes because the crew that was on the ship was not a pilot, so he couldn't make maneuver nodes on his own, or their own, or whatever the case is. So what I'm going to do is create a relay system. So this will effectively launch as I was saying. Sorry, I was so rudely interrupted by children. So even though this is a, you know, like a relay dish, I do want to set this into the craft a little bit, or at least get it out of the way of the fairing without having to adjust the fairing. I think what I'm going to do is I turn off snap, so I can kind of like rotate this up a little bit. And then I can even set it down inside the craft a little bit. It'll kind of like stick out with those two little ears, just like so. Not a big deal. And then here I don't need a terrible amount, right? I really just need something, essentially, that that connects up, right? So when I extend this, it's going to talk up, you know, to from here to here, and then I'll link back Kerbin. Now, if I'm behind the moon on the dark side, or side that I can't, which I shouldn't, I should probably do it in the daylight. I'll at least have the ability to make maneuver nodes when I'm able to, and if I'm not, I just, you know, will hold off. So this also kind of deserves to be on an action group, if you will. So before, when I had action groups, I kind of had like the solar panels up here, you know, and conduct some of the stuff, right? But I kind of want to move all this stuff down because I want all of my items for the lander to be on one group of the items. But what the other thing I can do is that in the gear extender, retract the gears, I can actually also put the antenna up, right? As long as the gear is down, I can do the antenna, which I ideally should when, you know, I've docked or detached. So I'm going to toggle the antenna at the same time as the gears, right? So those are just fixing some of the things that I wanted to make sure I had, because it was a big problem with the Minmus mission where I couldn't make any maneuver nodes. I had to really eyeball my rendezvous. So there we go. Let's launch this. Okay. Yes. I'm going to throttle up to about 2/3 because I want to say I've added a lot of thrust on this. I don't know if I'm expecting or what I'm expecting really. My thrust to weight is 1.8, so still get a good takeoff here. Scientist, pilot, good to go. Boosters are coming down real fast, but my other 5 engines that are the 4 radial on the mainsail. Turn. Time for those boosters to go away. Throttle up to 100%. Finish my turn to 45 degrees. Azimuth. And I think I may have hit this like pretty well on. And the moon is on an equatorial orbit with Kerbin. So if I do this like advanced orbital info, I could try to keep pointing myself around till that is like at 0 degrees inclination, right? As I go up, but you know, anything, you know, that's around 0.1 and 0.5 is acceptable, and I've got lots and lots of fuel left over. I'm gonna push this up to like 80. Cut. Now I feel like pretty soon when this when the effect of the atmosphere goes out, and I'm right around this point, I'm gonna let that fairing loose. But I'm a minute, and I've also got a periapsis, you know, above -500, which is good. That's actually going to cut down my burn time. Now, not getting a whole lot of control because that reaction wheel is not very strong, because I did put one in here. But it's not exactly ideal for what I'm trying to use it for. So I'll let this fairing loose. Expose the craft. Get ready to make my burn. So I'm going to see how long it'll take to get this burn. I'm actually about to meet up with a ship. I didn't even mean to do that. So the apoapsis for my planned approach is starting to flip, which means it's about circular, and it looks like it's about a 40-second burn time. So yeah, if I'm looking at this, that'll be 80, that'll be 89. Could burn a little bit early, because I think that'll be about, you know, where I'm at. But yeah, a 40-second burn time isn't bad, and I am going to run out of fuel at this stage before that happens. So that's going to be good, because I think this stage will return to the planet. I won't have any space junk, which is going to be nice. Oop, I missed my burn. Oh, look, there's my fairings. Going away in the distance. We have some gibbling on these, so now I have a little more control. Almost out of fuel there. Let that loose. Light the rocket. We're seeing that this is coming up nice. I mean, I'm in orbit. Good stuff. Pretty circular, I'd say. I could boost this up, since I got plenty of Delta V here. More than I think I need for the actual mission. I could spend a couple of minutes here at periapsis. Let's open up those solar panels, get some energy going. So speed up. Yep, there we go. Now, if I try to turn this thing retrograde, because at retrograde, by the time I get around the planet, I'll get the pilot to do that for me, so I don't have to do it. I will go back to stability assist, and I will fast forward to the apoapsis, in which case I will then be at a prograde. There we go. And I will push this up to 100. Small little burn. Little tiny corrections. Beautiful. Look at that. That blue marker is where it wants me to put satellite, which kind of hope is better than the last one I did, because the first time I did that, at some point they met up and it got caught by the moon and got thrown out of into the solar orbit. Set that as target. Pretty good. I'm right on same plane within 0.1 degrees. That's in 17 minutes, so I got plenty of time to mess around with this. Now it's not going straight up, so what I'm going to do is going to grab this center of this star, move it so it's going like straight up. Go. See, those little white flags are coming together. Okay. I'll get caught there. Right? That'll be my moon encounter, and then I'll get kind of like tossed into that orbit. Like I said, we can always adjust this a smidge. Get a more get sort of more efficient burn. With this big heavy craft, I'm only gonna spend 840 to get there, and I've got all my science from the surface, like close to the moon. I just haven't gotten anything on the moon, so effectively I'm not terribly concerned with being super close, right? So I think this is going to be a good burn. In which case, at this point, I'm going to make the burn. We'll do the circularization at the moon. And then we'll stop this video. I'll do the landing at the moon. Ooh, come on. Slow down. Sometimes a little bit of a cheat is when it gets on the target, you can hit the fast forward. Because there's, in Time Warp, there really isn't any persistent motion. It locks everything. I think they used to do that. But, and in physics it still works that way, but I think they stopped doing it because it was too much of a memory hog. So I'm gonna kick it now. Because I want some time. Wow, I think I'm gonna end up using like all of the fuel in this thing to do this transfer. I might even try to do the thing where it put this stage on a collision course with the moon. And then correct with my main transfer stage. There. That will solidly be on a collision course with the moon. So let's do this. Start the engine. We are still on a collision course, but since I was going prograde when I made that, I'm going to go retrograde. Correct it. And there we go. Went prograde again. Now that piece will hit the moon. Don't have to worry about it. And this piece will be on a straight shot with the moon. So now, done with that maneuver, here I'll plan to circularize, and I'll use the old trick of when they start to flip. That kind of gives me an indication that they're getting close to being something I can rely on. A little bit closer, I suppose. That'd be... maybe that one to stay 50. There we go. So let's do a... yeah, I've already done my burn. I got plenty. I mean, plenty of fuel to do what I need to do. Oh, I'm still stuck on prograde. It's giving me guff. Okay. 15 seconds from the node, I'll start my burn. Well, about 18 seconds, really, because I plan to try to touch it up for a few seconds. Still just trying to keep it on that blue node. Getting close. I like it. So there we are. We are circularized. We've got the scientist and the pilot. So the scientist is going to go on board. I have an antenna now, so I should be able to relay between this pod and Urban. So I'm going to like the dark side at this point. I'm going to be out of the sight of Kerbin, so I might, on the next round, wait till I get in my orbit around the moon and start on the other side for a landing site. Maybe here-ish. Looks kind of flat between these areas. So we'll go for that. Awesome.